Hi, friends. We talked yesterday about writing a lead that hooks our reader, right? We talked about how we could use one word, we could use an onomatopoeia, or we could use alliteration. So you wrote this down yesterday, and today I wanted to show you how on my Power Organizer, I wrote down that I was going to do the one word lead. I think I'm going to use the word tasty. And then I wrote down my topic, which is baking. Now, that's not my introduction, right? That's just kind of what's going to be part of my introduction. So today I wanted to show you how I took this little bit of information and I turned it into a paragraph to get my reader interested in baking. Remember, I said to you, you need to be stretching your thinking and turning your ideas into sentences. So let me show you how I did my first paragraph, and I might even give you a sneak peek into my second paragraph. Okay, let's take a look. I gave myself a little reminder up here with that little hook. Okay, turn my light on and hopefully you can see that a little bit better. Here's what it says. Tasty. That's how I would describe baking. You might think baking is quick and easy, but it requires some planning. You need special tools, equipment, and ingredients if you want to do the job right. You'll also need recipes and a dose of creativity to impress your family and friends. If you enjoy making others happy, baking can be the ticket that brings a smile to their face and yours. Now, if you notice, I took, right, my one word and the topic of baking, and I kind of introduced my reader into baking, right? But you know what else I did? I mentioned these things that are going to be in the middle of my my paper, in my middle of my essay, right? I talked about types of baking, but I called it creativity because that's what you have to do. You have to be creative as a baker to make some unique things. I also talked about the supplies, the things that you might need, and I talked about my favorites in a little way using that word recipe. I didn't tell them all the details. I just kind of gave them a preview of what they might learn about, right? Special tools and equipment and ingredients, right? Recipes, creativity. This is how you write yourself a really good introductory paragraph. You want to hook them. You don't want to tell them everything right away. You want them to read and say, I wonder what this is going to be about. I'm going to keep reading. So remember, you are using your Power Organizer. This is your plan. This is how you get started. This doesn't say a whole lot up here. You have to turn this into something really great that's going to grab your reader and keep them hooked. Okay, so you can go back and reread mine if you would like. Let me show you my first paragraph. And here's what I did. I gave myself another reminder because this is my first triangle or my first rectangle. So I put number 1 inside my rectangle. Okay. Ooh, look at, I started with one reason. There's a little bit of a transition, right? One reason baking is such a great activity is because you can create so many different dishes. Cookies, cupcakes, and brownies can be customized by changing the flavors. You can add frosting for an extra shot of sweetness. You might even want to share these items with friends or neighbors. No one needs to eat an entire batch of cookies. If you love bread, try baking your own. You can add raisins or cinnamon, but if sweets aren't your jam, try making a savory loaf with cheese or garlic as a tasty choice. Using bread dough to make dinner rolls or cinnamon rolls is a favorite of mine. If you enjoy baking for a crowd, try your hand at pies, cakes, or tarts. Fruit makes a flavorful addition, or try adding sprinkles and decorations to create a show-stopping masterpiece that is sure to impress everyone. Now, if you think back to my Power Organizer, gave myself a reminder to use some transition words. I used one reason. I also talked about cookies and cupcakes and brownies and the way right? You could add flavor and what you could do with them, sharing them. I talked about baking bread, right? You can make sweet bread, but you can also make savory bread by putting other things in it, okay? Different types of flavors. And then I talked about pies and cakes and tarts. Those are things that maybe you would make for a crowd because it makes a lot, and you can share them with people as well. Take them to a party. So I didn't just list these items. I went into more detail about the cookies and the cupcakes and the brownies. I even talked about cinnamon rolls here, right? That's a type of bread or a roll that you can make from bread dough. And then I talked about some other things that you could bake. So that's the creative part from my introduction, right? I didn't say anything about types of baking. I didn't use those words. I used the word creativity instead. Okay, so look at how many sentences I have there. A sentence starts with a capital letter and ends with punctuation, right? So this is one sentence. It took up 3 lines. And you'll notice I skipped lines in between so that when I decide to go back and revise my writing, I might want to add some other words or I might cross some things out. This will give me the space to do that. All right. So today, your job is to start writing your first paragraph. And if you think you've done such a good job and you're excited and you want to keep going, start on your next one. Okay. Remember, we want you to be a writer today and every day.